we need to think of a new advert for freebets.com.
Get your best betting offers from freebets.com.
Yeah, that'll do.
The following deals are now live.
Matt Lenihan Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store, freebets.com, and Ready to Fight. We're here. European champion Chloe Watson. Chloe, good Christmas, good New Year.
Yeah, great Christmas, coming off my last win. Just had some time with the family, eat some food, and now looking to get back to it.
Been nice to have that bit of a break. I know you were in a big fight at the back end of last year. It was another good year of learning for you. Is it nice to have Christmas sort of not fully off, but relax a little bit and release that pressure?
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you've deserved it. I feel like it was a good time to have Christmas because it was a nice time to to celebrate with the family as well.
Just reflect a little bit on last year. It was a huge year for you. You picked up that European title at the back end of the year. Did everything go to plan for you last year? If you could have mapped it out at the start of last year, has everything gone as it should have done for you?
Yeah. I'm like into like vision boards and stuff like that. I made a vision board. And the European title was actually on it. And I did that in March.
What else was on the vision board? Was there anything that didn't get ticked off?
There actually wasn't, no.
So vision board completed. What's on your vision board for this year? World title?
I haven't made one yet, but it'll be a good one. Don't like to give too much away,
Yeah, surely now, obviously, you've picked up that European title. We'll touch on that fight just a little bit actually, because it was a really it was a good competitive fight. It wasn't just a girl in there who we see it a lot in boxing where people make business moves as a belt becomes vacant. You move someone in to become champion to move them on to a bigger fight. That was a really good competitive clash with a girl who was more than game. Is that the type of fight you wanted? And you've been asking. It seems like you wanted to show more of your boxing skills as well as your aggression. Was that a fight you were sort of longing for?
Yeah, definitely. And we also knew, she was going to be awkward. And, we wanted to see how I was going to deal with that. It was something that we've been working on for a long time in the gym for the full year, to be fair. So we'd been working on, them long-ranging opponents. So, when the opportunity come up, we knew it was going to be a walk in the park, but we knew it was a great step for me because it was one where I can show what I've been working on. And, it was a fight that we knew that I could learn from as well. It was a fight that I was confident in winning. But, like you said, it was a great competitive fight. And I think, I can take loads away from it.
Do you think you'll benefit for that now that you're going to be kicking on? And I know you might not have the dates and the fights announced yet, but you can obviously be moving up now. There'll be no sort of backward step. Now you get that European title. There will be fights like that, you would assume, more frequently. Is that going to sort of stand you in good stead moving forward, dealing with that style, someone who did bring a lot of pressure, very awkward. Like you can't sort of take a round off, especially if you have 2 minutes anyway, but she was constantly trying to do stuff, trying to throw you off your rhythm. Is that going to stand you in good stead moving forward, do you think?
Yeah, for sure. It was my first 10 rounds there, and like you said, I couldn't afford to have a round off. Felt like I was focused for the full 10 rounds, and I felt like I could have done more rounds as well. So, that was quite good for me to come away from my first 10 rounder thinking, that was a very high-paced fight. And, if I needed to give more, I felt like I could have given more. My strongest rounds, strongest rounds were my last two. So, I know I've got that in me that if it comes to it, when I need to give it me all in the last couple of rounds, then, I've got that.
Is that a sort of a big, I don't want to say weight off your shoulders, but when you get these extra rounds thrown in, and as you move up to championship level, you are required to do more rounds, as well as picking up the belt? Was that sort of a huge tick box sort of, done kind of thing that even though you probably train for more rounds in the gym, that, when it counts, you can sort of go into that extra mode where you can get an extra couple of rounds out of you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I knew I was the fittest that I'd ever been. You know, I felt that in the gym, but I think, you know, bringing it to the ring is completely different, and it's something that I'd never done before up until that point. So, you know, to have done it and to have done it in the way that it did, you know, I think it's a box ticked off the list, and you know, it does give me confidence in me in my next fight. You know, now I will be in 10 rounders, and you know, I'll be training the same way that I've trained there, but you know, I won't have that thought in my head of, oh, am I going to gas out or this or that? You know what I mean? I feel like, you know, it just comes, it comes with experience. And I feel like we're slowly getting there with the experience, and it's a good place to be in, and it's a good position for me to be in going into this new year, like you said, and, you know, targeting new things, and, you know, look, I'll be looking to defend my title and stuff like that, and be in great fights, you know, I want to be in good fights. And I think, like you say, you know, coming off the year that I had last year, I think I'm in a great place to do so.
You mentioned earlier in the conversation, obviously, vision boards and stuff like that. But what does realistically an ideal 2024 look like for you?
I look to defend my title, the European title, and then, you know, see what opportunities come up. It'd be great to have a world title. An opportunity to fight for a world title came up the back end of this year or early next year.
Mm-hmm. I get the feeling, man. Obviously, you talk to a lot of fighters, and they're always seem to be like, I need a world title this year, depending on what position they're in. You don't always. You feel like you're not really in like a rush for that. Is that what's sort of going to separate you? The fact that you know, you have got a lot of time, in this game, years upon years kind of thing, and things will just happen when they happen. You don't seem to put that much pressure on, sort of, oh, it has to be this next sort of 12 months before, and I have to become world champion. Is that sort of a benefit for you, that where it's just like, let's see what comes kind of thing?
Yeah, definitely, because, you know, I have got age on my side. Don't get me wrong. If I was a good bit older, you know, I would be pushing for them things, because why not? But you know, for me, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And you know, I just feel like I'm building with each fight, that, you know, I'm just prepared to. For me, it's about being ready when the opportunity comes. And you know, that's what we're preparing for.
Do you see yourself, and it's probably looking further than this year, but we've talked about it before, and moving up and down the weights. We've seen it a lot now. Obviously, with the fight this weekend, Mikaela's bounced up a couple of weights, and Natasha's been moving up and down. I think that's sort of the beauty of the women's side of boxing, that these fights do get made because there's a bit of give and take, and it's just sort of it's happened over the years. Do you see Superfly, Bantam? Do you see them in your future?
I do, yeah, eventually. Like you say, you know, you see the other women do it, and you know what, other men do it as well. I feel like
Yeah.
people get to a point where, you know, they've proved they're the best at a certain weight, and you know, they want to challenge themselves and move up to the next weight. And I think, you know, it's a great mindset to have, and I think it's great that the women are doing it, and you know, we're doing it in such style.
Mm-hmm. Jonas Mayer this weekend, great fight. Two good people for the sport. Natasha's obviously last year got on a rampage and just sort of picked up every belt that was offered to her. This is now a good fight against someone who's got that amateur pedigree, Olympic pedigree. Mikaela Mayer, who's been in big fights before. She's coming into this at 147, obviously previous operated at the different weights, and she's slowly moved up. But it looks good for that size. Looks big girl. How do you see this fight going? I know obviously probably Team Tash, but what do you think?
Do you know what? I think it's a really exciting fight. You know, obviously Natasha is coming off the back of such a great year last year. She is the champion. She is a lot more comfortable at that weight. So, you know, I do feel like, you know, she will perform come Saturday. I feel like Mayer, you know, she just moved up. She's very skillful. She's good, and I feel like, you know, she has got the other possibility that, you know, she can beat Tasha, of course. You know, she's a great fighter, like I've just said. But I think experience wise at that weight, I just think, you know, Tasha will prove again, you know, that she is a great champion, and she's not afraid to be in these big fights. And I feel like this fight is a big fight for Tash, and it's one that I'm really looking forward to.
What fights do you want to see this year? As obviously yourself, you're going to be involved in big fights personally, and that'll kick your career on. But we saw some good fights last year. Obviously, Taylor Cameron twice. Claressa Shields is doing a thing in the States now as well. there's so many big fights. I feel like they're to make. What do you want to see this year? As sort of a fan of the sport, who would you like to see fight each other in these, in these weight classes?
Good question. Very good question. I would love to see Katie and Chantal go again, just because it's 1-1 either side. You know what? You've been seeing Claressa Shields and Alycia Baumgardner giving it out. I know, like, they're completely different weights, but that would be so interesting. I feel like, they've there's a lot of back and forth going on there, so I feel like, why not? If you're gonna kind of talk the talk, you might as well walk the walk.
I'm gonna say, you think they could do maybe a catch weight or something like that?
I think I forgot what I think they've discussed. They've said the weight, haven't they? I forgot what weight it was, but I think Alycia. What'd you say?
147. What did they?
It might have been. I don't know. Maybe it was. I'm not too sure. I think Clarissa said that. What did Clarissa box at for the MMA?
Oh, she's coming up fighting in the PFL. I think she's actually got a fight scheduled. Don't know,
Well, it's the same weight as that anyway. So who knows? I think that'll be a very interesting one.
Who'd you fancy in that fight if it was to get made? Baumgardner's obviously coming off the back of a few good victories. Clarissa. She's sort of had some statement victories. After the Savannah one, she went into another fight, picked up another win. Putting them together, I suppose that.
I think Clarissa with the size difference, but I just think it'll be so interesting because they both seem to be backing themselves, and like I said, people can walk and talk the talk, but see if they can walk the walk.
It'd be an unbelievable build-up as well because they both talk really well. Ricky, dancing on ice, thoughts?
Oh, do you know what? I loved it. I thought it was great. I loved the performance.
He's putting himself out there, isn't it? It's a bold move that for, you get these perceptions of boxers. Obviously, people who interview him, that the type of guy sort of he is a little bit, but he's put himself in that position to try something like that. It's pretty out there, isn't it?
Yeah, he's definitely stepped out of his comfort zone, and I think obviously he's seen that maybe he wasn't as good as the others on the ice because they do all get to train with each other and see where everyone's at. And he still went along with it, he still went through with it, and you know what, he's gave everyone a good laugh. So I think the longer he's on there, the more you promise to laugh when you're watching the dancing on ice, which you didn't really get from watching the other performances. So
yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how he gets on. Look, we look forward to seeing you back out. Have you got a fight date? Do you know roughly when we can expect to see you back in the ring?
Yeah, not yet, but it's looking to be around April time.
April time, and the defence of your European title?
Yeah.
No worries. Well, look, Chloe, congrats on a big year last year. I know this year you'll have some big plans once this vision board gets made. I look forward to seeing you back out. I appreciate you joining us on Boxing Social again.
Thank you.
We need to think of a new advert for freebets.com.
Get your best betting offers from freebets.com.
Yeah, that'll do.
The following deals are now live.